Cat! It's your boy Ghosty, back again. Yami Shibai podcast, season
4.
4, episode 3.
Yep, that's right, 3.
And I'm joined by the one and only, the legend himself. It's
Germ.
Germ, back again. He's got a small voice today.
Just me, the germ.
That's embarrassing. Coughing is even more embarrassing.
I've got my voice back, just coughing. Fixed it.
I'm going to force you to do the rest of the podcast.
No, I'm literally dying over here.
You reap what you sow.
Oh, can I talk about some spoilers for this episode before we even start?
The fans will be in shambles, but I'll allow it.
So, I kept forgetting what episode this was. I'd be like, oh, I'm recording with Ghosty this week. Oh, it's the fish tank episode. No, we did that episode. What episode is it? Like, oh, yeah.
I remembered the name still pretty clearly. Sewing Shears, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good name.
I think it's the first time I've ever heard that word before in my life. So
really?
Learning, yeah.
Huh.
I don't spend that much time around the elderly sewing, I guess. It's a skill that's lost, honestly, on people under the age of like 50 or so, I would say.
I think they're not... I guess the ones in this episode were for sewing, but I've seen versions of those where they're sheep shears and old-fashioned shears for cutting hair.
That's what I associate shears with, is for sheep entirely, not for sewing.
Well, they're the old-fashioned scissors, right?
We'll discuss it when we get there, but I feel like they just look like regular scissors to me.
We'll have to discuss it when we get there, because I don't actually remember how they depict it. Talking about me mostly forgetting about this episode.
Okay. At the risk of getting ahead of ourselves, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Step right up and have a look. It's time for Yami Shibai. Episode title: Sewing Shears. We were correct.
Yep. Well, I don't remember the images, not the title.
We join our main character, a college student who just moved into her new apartment. She quickly chose this place because the rent was cheap.
Man,
as most students would.
All these people moving into new places.
That is a pretty common theme for this, isn't it? I guess
it must be a Japanese thing. They're always moving.
Maybe that is a thing. I don't know.
I don't know. It's probably just a convenient setting for finding something you didn't know.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty easy way to set up, find a new thing.
Yeah.
But while unpacking, she notices a weirdly loose board on the floor.
Oh, maybe it's money.
It's the safe or something.
Well, safe would kind of suck. Have to crack into it.
Gets you internet points. Remember when that was a trend?
Oh, yeah.
People would post like the safes that they found in their houses, and then nobody would ever post follow-up. Classic.
That's funny. Did you ever see the TV special when they found, I think it was that famous mobster's Malone safe? You ever hear about that?
I remember this on Discovery Channel. Mm-hmm. Wasn't there nothing in it?
Mm-hmm. They had 2-hour special. The safecracker broke into it within like 20 minutes, and then there was nothing in it. And they had to just talk for like an hour and a half.
Was it live?
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, that's terrible.
That's why you always have a backup plan.
I'm gonna look this up afterwards. That's too funny. She pulls the board off the floor to find it's covering a hole, which she peers into to find real footage breaking her animated world of scissors pierced into a piece of paper with a lock of hair folded into it, stuck into the ground.
I guess it really was scissors.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should have said sewing shears, but
yeah, I wonder why they chose sewing shears. Huh.
I don't know what sewing shears look like, so this could be what sewing shears look like.
Well, they're like a long U piece of metal with 2 blades, and you squeeze it to the blades to go back and forth.
I'll have to look this up because I'm not getting anything.
Yeah. It's too bad I didn't put a picture of it in this, but it never occurred to me they use scissors instead of sewing shears. Maybe I'm crazy.
Are you sure that's real footage?
I'm pretty sure, especially when we get some zoom ups in like the next slide, you'll see for sure.
The
I
next
love.
one, definitely. This looks
Yeah,
like almost, maybe.
I'm pretty sure it's an image inside of a drawn image, which makes it so much creepier.
It's true. They
Yeah,
love that trick this season. That's
yeah.
like their gimmick.
But I don't know what it is about this image, but it is unsettling.
I like that it's like the actual horror thing that's the real footage this time.
Yeah.
In the first episode, I guess it was slightly. It was the cat's grave, but it just wasn't that unsettling to see it as real footage,
It
I
didn't.
guess.
It didn't add that much. Good way to save money, but didn't add that much. Okay, I'm gonna switch next slide.
We get more real footage of the scissors stuck in the paper, a close up so we can see all the weird writing on it. A talisman, they call it. And like any logical person, she just chucks that shit in the garbage. That's gross. That's how I would react to be honest with you.
I'd probably leave it there. I find it way too fascinating to move.
You'd probably invite all your friends over and show them.
Look at this weird shit.
It's like a house decoration at that point. Every time somebody visits, you're like, check out my weird haunted thing.
I don't think there were any comments about this, but I remember thinking how weird it is just having a hole from inside your house onto the ground.
It is weird, especially considering, didn't they show an apartment building at the start of this episode?
It's an apartment.
That's really weird.
Right? You think it'd be on a concrete slab or something.
And I was picturing it on the second floor, actually, for some reason.
Hey, don't move my dirt up there.
You open this flap, it's just your neighbor.
taking a nice old shit. What are you doing?
That's what else would they be doing, right?
That's the real horror.
Nice. I still feel like it's the second floor. Like they're showing us more of the second floor. After she heads to bed, we join her later that night.
To be fair, they don't say which apartment's hers, and there are some apartments on the bottom floor.
They're like out of our view, though. The camera's mostly focused on the upper level.
It does feel like the second floor. I can't tell you why. But, yeah.
Weird. A strange noise wakes her up. It sounds like some breathing, and it's coming from the hole.
No, thank you. Oh, God, that'd be stressful.
I think I would just stay there paralyzed.
Just cover the sheets over my head.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know. She goes over to the hole and slowly pulls it back. From within the hole, the top half of a human head stares back at her. It's really gross looking. It's also on a piece of paper. It looks like the talisman, maybe.
Oh, I never put that together. That's very possible. Huh. Cool.
She wakes up and is thankful it was just a dream. Or was it?
I forgot I did that.
That entered way slower than I expected.
I think I did that on purpose.
Because it was my weak reading. See how it is. She gets up to go to the powder room. Noticing the scissors, paper, and hair, have disappeared from the trash.
Someone stabbed scissors into a rock? Oh, that's heavy metal, man.
It just is too perfect. You want to play scissors, paper, hair?
So hair loses everything? Is that what we're saying?
I think it's the opposite. The hair is
so
overpowered. Yeah.
Hair tangles up scissors. Hair engulfs rock. Done.
Then she hears the breathing coming from the hole, just like in her dream.
Oh, that would be stressful.
She reaches for the wood and pulls it away to find nothing. Just the dirt as she left it.
I don't know if that felt cinematic, but it was a complete accident. Missed the button push, then I got it.
I could actually hear the key. It's like...
Oh no!
I could see some slight panic in your face, too. She breathes a sigh of relief just then. The phone rings.
That's so relatable. Breathing a sigh of relief, like me trying to press my key on my keyboard. Why? Why?
She answers the phone, recognizing the voice, not letting us know who it is. Well, not noticing the shadow behind her. Jump scare. She tells the phone caller about the weird dream, not seeing the body of the half-headed man walking up behind her. The camera cuts to black.
The end.
Anime ending.
It's like, I want to start off this conversation. Who the heck calls someone in the middle of the night? Who the heck was this?
Yeah, that is kind of weird, isn't it? Like, why would you assume they were awake?
Why would you want to wake them up?
That makes no sense.
She wasn't expecting a phone call.
And why does she even have to answer the phone for, like, that adds nothing to the story. It could have just walked up behind her and she could have, like...
I think they wanted her to be distracted while this half-headed man walked towards her. But then go get a drink of water or something. Why?
Yeah, the phone makes no sense.
So many questions.
Maybe the phone call is cursed too.
Maybe.
You never know.
She recognized the voice, though.
I don't know. Maybe it's still a dream. The classic grade school story trope.
Any observations from you for the episode?
I mean, they're definitely leading into this format of voiceover and real life footage.
Yep.
I'm getting more okay with it, but I will say I was kind of annoyed at the start of the episode when she was speaking and they had the voiceover speak over her.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? I was like, this feels so unnecessary.
I don't know. Like, this season's particularly bad for that. I don't know why.
And the voice doesn't sound that creepy to me.
No. I don't think it adds anything.
Is the fact it's got a lisp supposed to sound scarier? Because it doesn't sound scary to me.
I don't know. Maybe middle-aged man is the true villain.
I guess so.
I don't know why they've chosen to do that. It seems heavy-handed.
Do you think there's anything to the top half of the head being in the dream world and the bottom half of the body being in the real world? Or is that just...
is such a cool idea. Oh,
maybe some kind of like interdimensional thing.
I feel like I need an hour just to decompress that idea. That is so cool.
I don't know if they did that intentionally.
I love that idea.
It's like some kind of like dream demon or something. But what do you think? I guess there's not really any allusion to this whatsoever. Why do you think there was even that talisman with the hair in it in her apartment to begin with?
Well, we have to assume... Well, this is my backstory. I think someone was executed on that land, and they haven't forgiven whoever it was, like a samurai. Because to me, it looks very, like, samurai
The head
era.
looks kind of like that. Yeah, the long hair.
I think the body looks like that, too. Should we go take a look?
Yeah.
I guess we really don't see enough to know.
He's wearing a modern shirt.
Yeah, that kind of puts a flaw in my theory.
It's the previous tenant.
Yeah. My theory is she disturbed his sleep with the phone call.
Wasn't she cursed from throwing the thing in the trash?
I don't know.
That was my impression.
I just love the idea of it being like, hey, keep it down. Do you know what time it is? Just her neighbor.
I wonder what it says on the talismans, too.
No idea. We could take a look, but I don't think we're going to figure it out.
No, definitely not.
But we'll take a
I
close
don't think
look
it's meant to be interpreted either.
Me neither.
That's like so scrawled. There's no way we could ever figure it out.
Mm-hmm. It was fun to take a look, though, but I don't think there's any chance of us figuring it out.
Do you think they used real hair or a wig?
That's a good question.
It looks very synthetic to me, the way it's shining, so I'm going to go with wig.
I feel like they'd have a hard time finding someone who'd be willing to give up that big of a chunk of hair. Though you could just go to the local hairdressers.
Wouldn't it be cool to say my hair is on TV?
That would be cool. You could also just go to a hair cutters or like there's many ways to get it.
True. Let's also inspect this person's hand very thoroughly.
It just looks like an
Good
average
hand. Good hand model.
middle-aged white Japanese person's hand to me.
They don't have as much hair as me.
Or me.
So good hand model. Good job.
I hope they credit hand model in the end, but I doubt it. Those are all my notes. I do think it was very ceremonial cutting the top of the head off, though.
True. Maybe there's something to that. I don't know.
It only
There's
occurred
some historical context.
Yeah, that only occurred to me after like maybe like half an hour before we started recording the episode, so I didn't have time to look it up. Yeah. I really should have, but oh well.
Yeah, that's about all my thoughts too. Let's see what other people think.
The comment. So I'll read the first one. Snap Happy FMA says, isn't that the same apartment building as the guy in the first episode? Dead Neko episode? I think it's funny they use the Japanese word for cat, but
was Nico in the name or something?
I don't remember, but Nico's cat.
I don't remember there being an apartment building in the first episode.
That's where the guy was sleeping, but this is episode 4. And here's episode 1. You ready? Drum roll.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same.
Oh, yeah.
It is totally
wow,
the
that's
same.
a good observation. They must have watched it in sequence.
Probably.
I thought the first episode was the cat one.
It was, but he went back to his apartment.
Yeah. Man, they've really cut costs on this season.
I mean, if you have a picture of a house, why not just reuse it? Most people aren't going to notice, except someone with very sharp eyes like Snap Happy FMA.
Crunchyroll people are going to notice.
Yeah, that's true.
24-Hour Hero said, why do they always insist on removing the talisman?
That's
XD.
true.
They should make like those Vine videos and immediately pack their bags and bounce. This comment really showing its age by referencing Vine.
Isn't that a crazy throwback? I think it's a good comment without that. And then that on top of it really like makes it an interesting comment.
Yeah, it's funny. 6 years ago was around the end of Vine, I think. It's been gone for a while.
But it was popular. It just wasn't financially successful.
They could have afforded to keep running it. It's just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they just didn't know how to monetize it, so it failed.
I think that is the issue, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if, this is pure speculation, I wonder if they should have gotten in contact with their creators and just had like a sponsored video like through the company who makes it or something.
Doesn't scale long term, but I'm sure they're kicking themselves because TikTok is so popular now.
Yeah. Well, TikTok figured out how to make money.
True.
Okay. Flowenhart. I'll just try and figure out how to read it. Flowenhart.
Good enough.
To be fair, when moving house a few years ago, I wrote, "I will kill again" in red paint on the wall before covering it with wallpaper. The idea of someone getting creeped out by that amuses me to this day. Doubt this is real. Very fun idea.
That's how you go to jail. Legitimately. People find that, they're going to call the police.
That's true. Yeah. I think a lot of people would assume it's a prank, though.
Real.
Yeah. Because it's a comment that we have on our show, I'm going to assume it's real, but I wouldn't bet money on it.
You think someone would do that? Just lie on the internet?
You're right. Well, I'm thinking silly. There's no way.
Lobo Sky said, I can relate, since in my house there was a hole in the floor and I would hear scratching and sometimes very distant moans. But if I got creeped out, I would just kick the floor and yell, STFU, dumbass rats, XD. It was probably a rat.
I love the de-escalation. Like, I'd hear scratching and moans. Damn rats.
It was definitely a rat or a raccoon, guys. Let's be real.
Yeah, having sex with the walls.
Gross. Despicable.
Silly guys. And what did the rat episode from like last season teach us? Ghosty?
Rats are outside, mice
I
are
sir
inside.
inside. Yes.
Everybody knew. It's a fact. We're out here spreading so much false information today.
I wasn't expecting you to remember that.
How
Okay.
could I forget? I think you've said it like 4 times.
I need to move on. Okay, let's go. Daph Neo 7? Sure. I don't like scary stories. But I don't know why I still keep watching this.
It's addicting.
I find that a fascinating statement. I think
quick hits.
Yeah. I think a lot of people seek out safe spots to have horror in their lives, like for a scare, get the adrenaline running.
Some kind of human psychology thing.
Yeah. Like practice for when it actually happens or something.
Man, don't say that. That's terrible.
That's true. Just in case it happens. How's that?
Much better.
Themes and metaphors for the episode.
I've had a hard time with metaphors in general this season.
I have a theory. Do you want to go
What's
first,
that?
or
You go ahead.
past traumas in an apartment? Like, why is the apartment so cheap? It's because something terrible happened there.
That makes sense for the cheap rent.
Yeah.
Maybe it could also be like in a similar vein. Past trauma will follow you wherever you go. She's got this new apartment, but something bad happened in the past.
So
she can't escape it.
Yeah, maybe the phone call's not random.
There you go.
Yep.
The phone call represents the past coming back, and that's why it's behind her.
Like a perfect example of like past traumas in the house. What if the last tenant pooped in the toilet and didn't flush?
Sure, it happened regularly.
Yeah.
And they left it for you when you move in.
No. That's a different kind of dirt. Any other theories you can think of?
No, I'm pretty satisfied with that, actually.
Yeah, I liked it too. So, what is your personal score, Ghosty?
In the context of this season specifically, I'm going to go a little bit higher because I feel like the bar is lower. So I'm going to give it a 6 because it had an interesting creature, I guess.
I think your gut reaction is what we're looking for to see how you feel about it. And you just feel like it's an average Yami Shibai episode. Does that sound right?
For this season, I actually think it's like 1 point better than average if we call 5 an average.
You can consider a 5 average. I know in movie scores, 6 tends to be average, which I don't know what that says.
Those people are indecisive.
Maybe. I kept forgetting this episode exists, but not because it's bad.
That's a pretty good reason to give it a lower score, to be honest with you.
So I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's slightly below average for Yami Shibai. Not bad enough to remember, but not good enough to remember either. So, a nice even 10.
Dead average.
Yep. And that's probably a little lower than our average.
Well, I mean, if you consider 10 out of 20 to be the average.
I see
same
what you're
metric
saying.
we just made. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're all done with this episode. Let's talk about next week's episode, which is called Red High Heel. What do you think the plot will be, Ghosty?
This is like Cinderella when she forgets her glass slipper at the ball, and the princess come find her.
Fun. Well, I'm afraid not.
I figured.
Yeah.
Doesn't really feel like Yami Shibai material.
I thought you were going to go with Cinderella, except she uses her heel to murder someone.
Oh, that would be much more Yami Shibai.
Not either. They do go an interesting way. Look forward to that.
Interesting. I'm feeling the metaphors already.
I don't often do this. I'm going to give a very mild spoiler. You ready?
Give it to me.
It involves a taxi.
Interesting. I cannot figure that out at all.
I'm not going to say anything else. So, thank you for joining me, Ghosty.
It's been real. Catch you in the next one.
And thank you all for being you. Bye.